Welcome to Gravel Trap Legends, round 3 of the Formula Junior Championship. I'll be your host, Neil Haines, known as Woody Lizard. And after 2 rounds, we've got the leaderboard with Brett S leading the championship by a healthy margin over Christopher Razor with a 11-point margin. And then it gets tight with Mac Attack equal third with Kiz, only 1 point behind Christopher Razor. The Bloody Nine come home there he's in 4th position with Cuckoo. And he had a good round actually at Ibarra, where we were round 2, where he came home, finished in 5th position and got himself and stabilised in that championship hunt for the minor placing. Stu is in 5th position, equal with Pixel Boy with 40 points. 10 points adrift of the Bloody Nine and Cuckoo, with Bales there in 6th position with Smithy and Truey. So we'll find out to see if Smithy can go up the order. I think that there's a possibility that Bales may not be here on the grid tonight. And where are we? We'll have a quick look right now. And we're at the historic 1971 Junior Circuit. It looks simple. It can be simple, but with many of these equal cars fanging it around, turn 1 is going to be a hot spot, definitely. As you can see, cars 3 to 4 wide coming into a tight section to try and get through turns 1 and 2. And those guardrails come up really quick and it narrows, so drivers have to be wary of one another on this 2.4 kilometre circuit. Only 4 corners. The final corner, the Parabolica, now that's a real tricky one because there is a basically Armco railing ready to grind away any left-hand side wheels that come out over past the track limit. So as they come on to the proper part of the circuit. So the drivers have to make sure that they give a little bit of room on the outside, or even when they're on their own racing line, that they don't drift out too wide. But let's pick up the action now. See here, we've got a few new drivers as well. We're just looking at the moment. Bence, who's qualified at the moment in 9th position with just under 7 minutes remaining. of this. There's already, so Bence has got by Sandy Cool. He's just mentioned that Bence has already got his own point of view in his stream, so that should be interesting as well. So if you want to see in-car footage, jump aboard the number 55 of Bence. But the big one at the moment, Squish Mittens, only a fraction away from Esky Man. And just looking down that order, it doesn't look like we've seen Brett either at this circuit. Thank you, Sandy Cool, for sending in the link to Brett's Twitch channel. So there you go, guys. Get on board and have a couple of different monitors going, and you can see all the action here in Monza for round 3 of the Formula Junior Championship here for Gravel Trap Legends Monday Night League. Brett S is actually on the grid at this moment, so the leader of the championship isn't here. Christopher Razor, who was second, who was 11 points adrift. Actually, my maths is wrong, 9 points adrift, is actually in 10th position. Esky Man, who's had a rotten luck in this Formula Junior Series, all the way down in 7th position, currently in pole position. And Smish Mittens, Squish Mittens I should say, he's languishing all the way down in 11th, so looking for a good round from him. Magic Moss we've seen come into returning back with Gravel Trap Legends. This is a qualifying, actually, sorry. The last 5 minutes of qualifying before we go into the 45-minute race. So Magic Mass we saw doing a good job at at Ibarra, I think, last round, but then got into a little bit of strife and dropped down the order. And I think he ended up being a DNF in the end. As we jump on board with Rangy Rover. And he's trying to see if he can get up the order. Currently, he will find himself on the 3rd row of the grid. And he's another driver that's caught down in the back of the championship in 11th, equal with Squish Mittens on 22 points. So the big opportunity in this race will obviously be for Christopher Razor, but currently languishing there in 10th position on the grid. But with a 45-minute race around this circuit, we're looking at, I'd say around about close to just in about 48 laps maybe of this race. So it's going to be a little bit tiresome on the drivers, turning left, turning right all the time. But have a look how this guardrail just comes up very quickly on exit. But you can just see how if drivers get a little bit out, it's just waiting there to clip everyone just on this exit here. It's just right there. And then we're up into the wide open space of the Monza main front straight. Doesn't the historical time era in the game look sensational? Full on the full drift mode. These cars look absolutely brilliant through this little windy section as they come back onto the back straight of Monza. Smithy just getting himself going again. That's a good question there, Tim. I'm glad you brought this up. Apparently at this stage at the moment, Gravel Trap Legends has got damage turned off for these rounds as the unknown little suspension hiccup bug that's been plaguing these Formula Juniors. They found if they have damage turned off, it takes away the suspension failure that seems to be happening just random on some of the drivers. Like the drivers basically commented that it's like they just run over a brick on the circuit somewhere and just throws their car. So all for the more enjoyment for the drivers. So Brad Luck up in 7th position in the 205 machine. We've got to see if he can get a little bit better result. The first round at Silverstone, he came 3rd on the podium, but obviously had a... I don't think he was actually, to be fair, at the 2nd round. So that's the reason why I think he is down the order in the championship. So we'll keep an eye on Brad Luck. Still waiting to see if the championship leader, Brett S., comes into the race late, but it looks like with 40 seconds remaining to qualify, he won't make the grid tonight. So that's a big story for Gravel Trap Legends, the GTL Championship. And we'll be looking at people like Macatak if he can. He's actually currently in the pit lane. They're in 15th position, so he's just 1 point behind Christopher. And Kiz is also in the pit, so they're happy where they're going to start off on this qualifying. But Christopher Razor out on track still. He's going to come around. Not too sure. He won't get another lap here. We'll just see if he can better his time and move up the order, because he's the one to benefit most as he's coming into pit lane. So a lot to pan out over the 45 minutes. So these drivers here should be able to get their last lap in, as Ben's doing a good job in 9th position for his first outing at GTL, Monday Night League. Oh, I hope you have a great holiday, Stoney. There we go. Esky Man puts it on pole position. And he's going to look good to do the most he can do in this race. See if he can make all his troubles wander away and get back into the winner's circle. Finished 10th at Silverstone after he had a rotten luck with the barrier, I think it was. And then again, I think another driver that may not have made the grid at Ibarra at the track that we like to say, Yarakucha track. Cuckoo actually came 2nd in that race. So we'll have to keep an eye on Cuckoo. Cuckoo was the one I think that actually had that accident at Silverstone. I got him muddled up with Kiz. So Cuckoo's the one that at Silverstone had that suspension failure and into the Armco railing before the start-finish line. So put in your predictions, guys, if you're watching. Who you think might win. 45 minutes plus that one extra lap with a 1 mandatory stop for tyres. You can just see there what we're looking at. We're looking at the 10th of July. The weather's going to be clear, as we've seen. The tyre wear is set at ×5. With that compulsory pit stops, 4 tyres only. And the safety car is available for the last 5 minutes of the race. And let's go back straight to the action. And let's go as Esky Man gets it going with Squishmans, trying to cover that inside from Cuckoo, who's way on the outside. And wait till we see them all come filtering through turn 1. It is a tight little funnel through these trees here at Monza. And a nice jump from Benz. He's made 2 positions. And Squish Mittens has taken that place from Esky Man early in the race. As we bring up the map there, so the drivers have got going again. Thanks to someone, it must have been Magic Mass that missed out on the start there, as Esky Man's looking down the inside of Squish Mittens with Cuckoo defending Brad Luck. And Brad Luck's going to have the advantage of the toe down the main straight. And look, he's going to split the two down the middle. Is he into turn one? This is going to be ballsy. He's just thought second of that bird on the side of caution. Brad Luck into third position, taking that move from Cuckoo. Now look at the livery of Mark 860. Oh, and there they go, into that, clipping that barrier I was told you before. So that's a big moment there. And Brad Luck is dropping down the order, as is Squish Mittens, as he got caught up there as well. So damage is off, but look at Mark 860, the livery, the British green. The number 3 car, currently holding third position, looking like he's going to get second here from Esky, so Esky's dropping down. But he's attacking hard on the outside with a nice run. Christopher Reyes is up 4 spots, up into position 6. Oh, that Barry is going to be the nemesis as well, Sandy Cool. Imagine if damage was on, like GTL would love to do on a Monday night, if it wasn't for the little bug that's been happening. You just see how it is. We'll go on the roof cam here of Smithy and watch how close that barrier can come up to these drivers. On exit, the one that we're talking about, it's already claimed 3 cars, I think, in this race. But it's Cuckoo in the Ferrari red Formula Ford in the Formula Juniors. And Stu is up into 8th position. So Stu's on for maybe one of his best results that he's had for some time, as Kiz comes way out down the inside to see if he can make some positions here. They're hard on the brakes here, trying to negotiate turn 1. It's a hard corner to try and get your braking markers. Such a wide entry coming in. And here they go with a slip angle of the cars in front. Kiz has got the power over Esky Man down this long straight. And let's have a look to see how they go into here with a slip angle. They're going to be side by side into the Parabolica. Both teammates in the same 44 livery. Commentator's nightmare when the same liveries are similar or identical. You can see that nice distance that both Esky Man and Kiz gave one another. So that outside barrier of the Parabolica does not claim a victim. So we're already on to lap 5 and we're not even 5 minutes into the race. So this is going to be one long lap count, big lap count. Now let's go down and have a look to see how Truey's going. Truey's just putting the pressure on Christopher Razor, but he's also got Stu M behind him, and Mac Attack's tagged along for the ride as well. I think the tyres should be okay for these drivers to go at least into the last 15 minutes before pitting if they wish. With that ×5 tyre wear, I don't think this track will be actually too hard on the tyres, to be truthful. Listen to the cars come down the start-finish straight, downshifting. These cars have got quite a lot of adjustments that the drivers can do, so there's a little bit of setup knowledge that you get to learn driving these Formula Juniors. They get to adjust the different gear ratios, which would probably be a big thing for a track around here, because you want a bit of power through the chute, through the forest, through the trees. But then you also want that top end speed down these long straights as well. Obviously the suspension, they can set their suspension stiffness up with also their slow bump rebounds. Oh, as Truey has a spin, and that's going to promote both Stu and Mac Attack. Will he get in front of Pixel Boy? Pixel Boy's coming around now, and Truey's doing the right thing and just waiting for these cars so he can get going again. And that's dropped him way down the order. But back up front here, we've got that battle of Cuckoo and Mark 860 is just heating up once again. It's like Mark is stoked the fire. Getting back to their setups they can do. Obviously the camber and toe they can adjust, and brake bias, including the brake pressure. So they'd probably want that bit of pressure to be able to, for the braking into turn one. Not so much here at the Parabolica, they just want to really manage an even braking and get a lot of roll into the long fourth and final corner. And obviously the fuel mapping, which they'd obviously have at Rich, they can adjust that on the fly in the car. That's the only thing they can adjust in the car, is the fuel mapping. And here comes Mark 860 down the inside of Cuckoo for another lead change by the looks of things. Squirming those rear brakes just under full load. And those rear brakes almost locking up. And their little battle that they're having is bringing into the two black, the Night Riders of Esky Man and Kiz. And Stu's under attack in the background there too from Mac Attack. The Mac Attack's looking down the inside of Stu. And can he make this move? It looks like he will. But Stu's going to fight hard because he can see himself maybe try and find himself knocking on a top 6 result at the end of this race. Easy to lock up the brakes, so that's great feedback there. As I have, just sitting here in the commentary booth, as Stu's been able to defend that move from Mac Attack. I'm not one in the racing cars, and that's the reason why they might adjust that brake pressure a little bit, just take a little bit out of it. So when they stamp on the brake pedal, it tries to avoid the lock-up of the rear brakes, as they would have a little bit of rear brake to try and avoid the fronts from locking up, as there's not much weight in the front of these cars. All the weight is at the back of these cars. There's up in the background here, we're having a look at Brad Luck, I think just making a move on Squish Mittens. And he's made that before the Parabolica, so that's a nice exit he has had out through the little chute. And he's coming back after his altercation with the outside fence coming out of the chute earlier in the race. As Cuckoo's now back in the lead. And we've got a 4-way battle on Monday night. It's usually the norm on a Monday night, especially with these Formula Juniors. We've seen some very tight racing indeed. Just see the different lines. The cars are just moving all around through the Parabolica as they're just trying to see if they can get some sort of power on. Let's enjoy a little bit of cockpit view of the old style of cars. You can see in the mirror there as Kiz is going down the inside of Esky Man, and he's there at the moment. And look at that opposite lock that Esky Man. These cars will be an absolute joy as they just managing the drift of these cars. And look at them right in the back of the gearbox there. I'm not too sure what's happened there. There's maybe a little bit of a connection lag spike on my end, but it's Mark again with Eskiman trying to go down the inside of Kiz, and we've seen Stu being able to hold it around the outside and still manage to get that power on to the main straight. And it looks like that Kiz is doing exactly that this time around as well. So it's great to see cars being able to defend around the outside of the parabolic, and he's come down into the inside just to hold that position to keep Eskiman at bay. And we've just gone 10 minutes into this race, and we got Mark back in the front of the lead. I just can't keep up with the changing of the lead of these races. So Mark 860 Cuckoo at it. Here they come once again. It'll be the survival of the fittest, I reckon. So I want to hear from people with 20 minutes remaining. I'd love to see guys start commenting who they think might win this race. At this stage, it's any of these four drivers, but I wouldn't take out also Rangy Rover or Christopher. Catching up to these guys eventually, as these drivers are slowing each other down. Rangy's lapping at a good pace in the low 58s at this stage. So slowly catching. Just finding himself at the moment. Eyes on in front of Mac Attack. Pixel Boy running his own race there in 12th position at the moment. Stoney's already commenting on Cuckoo in the red Ferrari, so we'll make sure there's one vote for the red Ferrari. Not really Ferraris as we know, they're probably a Cosworth or some sort of engine, being the old Formula Fords, Formula Juniors. Maybe a Cooper engine or something like that. And Cuckoo's going one-hand style driving. He's got the muscles of a left-handed warrior. It's going to be interesting as they filter into the pits too as well. They got to make sure that they get down to the speed limit. And look at Eskiman down the inside of Cuckoo. We haven't seen one of the black cars up into second position. So here we go. It looks like Eskiman's going to get himself there. He's just got to be careful. And Cuckoo's just backing out of that because he knows the dangers of that wall. And I tell you what, Eskiman was so close. He was millimetres from tagging that Armco railing. And that could have ended in tears like we saw earlier from Brad Luck. And he's slowly coming back too through the field. He's only 2 seconds away from Mac Attack and Stu. And in comes Kiz once again down the, Cuckoo down the inside. Pixel Boy's in for his pit stop. And that's one thing we're looking for the new update as well. They're going to have era-specific pit crew as well. So we'll see the race suits away and the helmets off from the pit crews in cars like this. And here's Christopher Razor. So this is the man that's really looking to make the most of the no-show of Brett S, who is the leader of the championship. And he's 9 points in front of Christopher. So I believe it's 30 points for a win. Oh, it's not too sure who that was. Having a spin. That's promoted Stu up into 7th position. Now Magic Mass, who missed the start of the race as well, is up in a 13th position. And I believe that might have been who we saw spinning, because it was a light blue class. So he's a lap down now. And he's in front of Pixel Boy, Chewy and Max Power, the rear of the grid. So we'll see if they can hold those positions and get to the end of this race. Vance has dropped down from starting, I think it was in 9th position, found himself up in 7th on the first opening lap. And he is attacking Mac Attack, I believe. Or is he just following? He's following a lap car, I think number 10, whoever that may be. Maybe, is that Truey? That's Truey. Back in position 15. Not too sure if Truey's already had a pit stop. We know Pixel Boy has. Squish Mittens is in the pit lane, getting himself sorted. And Stru's dropped a position or two as he's getting under attack actually from Mac Attack. And he puts himself up into 8th position. Side by side, there's nothing in this braking zone, but Stu's going to have that line. Finds a little bit of the concrete curb. Here goes Mac Attack. He's got his 2 hands on the wheel. And look at the tow effect these cars get punched through the air. They get a little bit of help from the car in front. Now you're probably watching this and you're wondering, geez, I need to get myself amongst this sort of action. So make sure that you have a look at Gravel Trap Legends on Discord. You might get Tim to hopefully maybe put a link down there. And come down and visit them on a Wednesday night for their shakedown. It's a mandatory to be able to enter into their main Monday night league. They like the drivers to have a bit of a run on the Wednesday night, run in the same cars, same tracks that they're going to run in the Monday night main league. And I believe that's how we find Bence, who's just behind these guys, about 10 seconds off. About 12 seconds actually behind, as down the inside comes Mac Attack. So Bence obviously has had his time in a bit of shakedown, and they were happy with the way that he raced, and he's here on the Monday night league, as did Squish Mittens and Smithy and all the boys, as they're still squabbling around here for these top 10 positions between 8th and 9th. Up front, it still hasn't changed. As Kit, I think, who are we missing there? We're missing Cuckoo. So he's dropped a position. He's had a little bit of a moment somewhere along the line, and now he's in the middle of the battle for Christopher Razor and Rangy. And there you go. Thanks, Tim. There's the Discord link. So if you want to join them on the Wednesday shakedown, make sure you hit them up there on Discord. Give them a nice welcome. Let them know what's going on for the Gravel Trap Legends. And say hello. And let them know how you'd love to get involved here with Automobilista 2. And some great driving. Look at this, 3 wide for the lead into turn 1 on lap 21. Oh, a little bit of a touch between Esky and Mark. So Esky's meaning business. He had the pole position, he lost it, and it's taken him 21 laps to get it back. So that's how hard it's been up in front. And obviously he missed something that went on between Cuckoo and this little battle, but you can just see Cuckoo there just trailing behind Christopher. And it's nearly time where in the next 4 or 5 minutes I'd say that these drivers will start thinking about pit stops, as Brad Luck puts himself in pit lane. And he's just going to come out just in front of these guys. Guys are going to have a run. Tell you what, this is the closest racing we've seen, so people were thinking this circuit is fairly boring. They put a number of cars on track and it livens up. So, as I said, it looks simple. They put the right cars on this circuit and it's a lot of fun. Let alone the old track surface as well. It's not like the nice ultra smooth Monza circuit that we're used to these days. A lot of bumps. And the grip level, it's probably not as good as what it was, like it is these days. I believe the textures work in that way with Automobilista 2, with their historic tracks. And have a look at Bence now having a good look. Yeah, they're just in front of the leading pack, and Bence is just as we've gone on to him, ran wide, and he's just going to put himself just in front of these guys. So he's just holding on to the skin of his teeth onto the lead lap at the moment. So we're almost going to have the cars just nudging the top 10. They'll be about a lap down. The pace and the consistency of these guys up front has been amazing. As we've seen, the fastest times have been about a 58. And they're into the 59s at the moment because they're battling very hard, and maybe a little bit of that tyre wear starting to show in that lap time. As Mark retakes his lead from Kiz. It's like, no, you lead. No, I'll let you lead. No, you can lead. One man that we want to see is see if Esky Man can get back up there again. Oh, that was a close call there. I'm not too sure if there was a little nudge. The back of the gearbox is marked by Kiz. So Kiz as well, the driver that's only 10 points off the lead, so he's fighting with Christopher. At this stage, you'd say Kiz would be the leader of the championship if we were going to end this race right now. So good showing from Kiz. He's just got to make sure he doesn't throw it away. He's just got to play smart. It's going to be a fight like they're fighting for sheep stations, I reckon, by the end after these pit stops when they come back out again. All these, I'd say 6 drivers. Top 6 will be all vying. So here they come. So Cuckoo's coming into pit lane. So it looks like that they pit limit is, oh, he's overshot. He was lucky to pull up there. They look like a spare tyre in your modern day car, don't they? Only can go 80 kilometres, Cuckoo. Esky Man's in the pit lane as well, so he came in beforehand, so he should get out before Cuckoo, but it's going to be close. Remember, damage is off. Oh, out he goes, runs over his pit crew and says, there you go, I've got one up on you, Cuckoo. He's just rejoined in front of this nice battle between, I think, it's not Stu actually, I think it was Truey and Smithy. They're going to hammer and tonk for position 14, so tell you what, No Love lost all the way down in these lower positions. This is for the battle for 14th. You'd think it'd be for the lead of the race. As Smithy just on the inside at the moment of True. True is looking to see if he can get back down the inside. And we just having a look up at the top there. I just saw Kiz was making inroads there on Mark almost for a lead of the race again, but it's had to stay on here because Truey very strong under the brakes into turn 1. Been been able to hold off this challenge, but now it's a three-way battle for 13th because Bence is just in front of these drivers. Oh, and having a bit of a moment, Bence. Hold on to it, brother. As he's going to tuck in behind Smithy. And the train of cars just keep coming and coming on through. Down the back straight. Oh, we got Mark and Kiz just in front. We'll have to see if they're going to look at coming in for a pit stop this time around. Sort of saying that they want to try and get their pit stop. Their tyres should last around about now up to about 15 minutes remaining. They got the ×5 tyre wear. Compulsory pit stop for the 4 tyres. And the GTL safety car is on standby if there needs to be a safety car. And that's up until the last 5 minutes remaining of the race. We have got that one extra lap, so that should see us probably knock over the half tonne in lap numbers. It'll be close. Maybe we might just get to the 48 lap mark, maybe 49. There's one for you guys. So we're into the last 20 minutes. Let's start putting our predictions. We've already got one for Cuckoo. And also we had one for Mark as well, a vote to take out this race. As Bence just seems to have gone a little bit wide through there, letting the faster drivers through, so that's nice from him. As Mark's in pit lane, so he's come in quick. So that leaves Kiz out on his own. We'll see where Cuckoo, as a yellow car goes flying in the sky. That looks like it might have been Smithy having a reset to track moment. Something you've got to be careful of, that you don't do it around other cars because it can put yourself right in front of another car. But I believe it may ghost the cars if that's sometimes the case. If you're lucky, that is. So here we go. So Mark is rolling out of pit lane now. He's just coming out now. So this could be for the effective race lead, and it looks like Cuckoo is a fair way back. But he can see him now going into turn 1. Just in front of Smith, of Truey. I think this might be just in front. Yeah, it's Truey just beside him. So Mark is right behind Esky Man. So this would be actually for the lead of the race. So Kiz is still in pit lane and the drivers are coming on through now. So Kiz is going to drop down the order. As Mark's having a look down the inside and up into the P1 he goes. So put your votes down as well. How many laps are we going to see? We're lap 30 with 15 minutes remaining plus the one extra lap. So with a 58-second lap time, there's definitely going to be at least another 15 laps plus 16 laps, maybe 17. So we may see 47. So Christopher finds himself still holding that 5th position. Let's enjoy a lap around on board with Christopher around this 2.4 kilometre circuit. Not much, 4 corners. go, a lap around the Monza Junior circuit. The predictions there, Mark will take the win from Kiz, so we're getting even into a little bit more as the 55 is there on the side of the road. And also Magic Mass as well, so it looks like that outside barrier may have claimed another victim as Bence gets going, so he's having a rotten bottom half of this race. So Esky Man, the smirk on his face as he we commented about his smirk on his face back at Silverstone. Actually, if you can if it gets clear enough and you can see his face, he's got a nice little smirk going on. He's loving life out in front. Some of the other drivers have a balaclava around as the cameraman decides to put all the buildings in its way. And here comes Cuckoo in that draft, getting that toe just behind as well. Rangy Rovers bringing Christopher along as well in position 5. So we're on board a couple of laps ago from Christopher, and he's seen if he can take this race over Kiz, and if he can finish in front of Kiz, he will take the championship lead into the penultimate round when we visit Imola next week, which will be also the final round that we will be in these Formula Juniors, because the 5th and final round of this championship will see the drivers in the historic 1970s car. Formula Retro G1 car, and that's going to be on the 24th of July at Kailami, the 76 historic version of Kailami. So it's like they're in their proving grounds at the moment in the Formula Juniors, ready to be signed up to drive one of the Formula Retro cars, as looks like Brad Luck is making the most of this, trying to get Kiz if he can down the inside, but Kiz is fighting back hard. Bradlock's going to have this turn down the inside before they come back here onto the back straight. And who's that coming down through the middle? That Mac Attack? I think he's back behind. I think that might be one of the lap cars, actually. That's another nice looking livery of Pixel Boy. He's came up a few positions. He was down in about 15th, 14th after he had that early pit stop. So he's the last car actually on the lead lap. So he's trying to see if he can bridge this 10-second gap between himself and Stu before the end of this race. He's got 10 minutes remaining to try and do that. And look, here they come in the background. They're like a bunch of rebel yells here. And I'd say any of those cars in your screenshot can win this race. All the way down to Christopher, who's having a move down the inside. I think he's... That a move on Rangy Rover? No, it's not. Or Kiz. Rangy Rover's in front of him. He was just taking a position from one of the lap cars. Don't these cars sound great? Great audio. in these track positions. I love hearing them come down that start-finish straight, and just as they off-throttle and start hitting the brakes and downshifting, sound terrific. We're getting close quarters. Hey Travis, good to see you from you, buddy. Yeah, we're looking at Esky for the win. He did have it on pole position, brother. Oh, watching live from London. Well, hello. We give you the courtesy wave, the Queen's wave, or the King's wave, we should say nowadays. Oh, big moment from Esky man, drifting wide, defending from Cuckoo. And it's this man Cuckoo that's going to have the right of way through the chute. Thanks, Travis. You enjoy. Hopefully you're going to be able to visit and watch the Ashes in 10 days' time. Game 4. Unfortunately, we didn't wrap it up yesterday. If you're a cricket fan, that is, Travis. Try and give it to the Barmy Army. There's not much more happening down the order at the moment. We're still looking at Brad Luck. Looks like he's going to hold on to that 7th position after he had that run-in with this outside wall, as we've got, I think it might have been Pixel Boy, getting crossed up into turn 1. But this man's shoes up for his best result on the Monday Night League for some time, to be in the top 10. And it'll be great to see him bring home the number 5 car in the top 10 and pick up any other positions that may fall either wayside with 6 minutes remaining. Quite a big possibility that anyone from Mac Attack or Squish Mittens could have a moment. And anything could happen here for the battle for the lead too, where it could cause a driver to go off in a bad way and bring Stu right back into it. So I haven't heard anyone mention Rangy Rover for the win, and look where he is, the old hand here. Up into P3, so he's been the silent mover. He qualified in 6, so he's had the pace with him being in 6th position at the start of this race. So up 3 positions. Esky's dropped, as obviously had the pole position, dropped down into 4th place at the moment, but that's neither here or there at the moment. As Rangy's looking to have a go at Cuckoo, qualified in 4th position. And Mark 860 qualified in 5th, who's leading this race at the moment. Big mover obviously is also from Christopher Razor from 10th to 5th. But he's going to have to try and fend off a fast charging Kiz in the later stages of this race to try and hold on to that 5th position. As I said earlier, it is up to both between Christopher and Kiz to be taking the lead of this championship after this race, depending on whoever finishes in front of one another. Though Cuckoo could at this stage also leapfrog them all for the lead of the championship. As he tries to put that move on Rangy Rover, bangs a bit of wheels through the parabolica. And right on cue, Cuckoo's thinking, yes, if I finish here, he'll definitely have the lead of the championship. And he's going to drop it down into 4th position as Esky Man thinks, hang on, here's my time to go. As he's going to go from 4th to 2nd in one quick move out of the parabolica and down the start-finish straight. this race is anyone still. Mark is enjoying these guys battling out behind him. The last lap there with that big toe, Eskimo Man did a 58.151. That could be almost the fastest lap of the race. Oh no, we had the 57s early on, so we had a 57.692. Would that be right? 57.962 by Mark, who's leading this race at the moment. There was a 57.932 by Brad Luck, actually. So Brad Luck looks like he's got the fastest lap of this race at the moment. Actually, it would be Magic Mass. He did a 57.741. So why is Magic Mass all the way down here in 15th position? He's just been inconsistent, obviously. Had quite a few offs. But he's had that one lap pace to take the fastest lap of this race. So there is an extra bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. So it looks like at this stage that the top four aren't going to be troubled aren't have to worry about someone getting the fastest lap, as it's, I think, going to be given to Magic Mass all the way down in 15th position. So that little safety margin that Mark had earlier has now evaporated, and Cuckoo's had a massive moment under the brakes into the parabolic because he's just dropped a ton of time, 2 seconds. So he's going to have to regroup, regather himself here. There's going to be probably 3 more laps of this race remaining. It's Rangy Rover. We haven't been on board Rangy in the number 9 British green race in the darker green compared to Mark's car. And Mark's got that nice yellow stripe down the middle. And look at them go down this back straight before they come into the parabolica. Easy not to get any compression lockups because that would really send the rear end spinning. Sandy, there's no, I don't think there's any penalties as such. They actually does get reviewed if there is any incidents that need to be brought to attention of people, of the stewards. As we have a look at Rangy Rover having a good look around the outside, gets on the brakes as Mark has had a moment there, and he's gone out into the grass there, so he's trying to get himself back again. As Cuckoo, so the leader of the race, a big moment there. He ran into that first corner a little bit too hot, and we got the pole man back in front of this race with Rangy Rover. Rangy Rover finds himself in second place. And if you were a betting man, you took all the money for Esky Man, took all the people saying it was going to be Mark, Kiz. No one put their money on Rangy Rover. The bookies are going to clean up here tonight if Rangy Rover can come home with this victory. At the moment, Esky's still out in front. So they're going to crop over this strip here. So there's going to be 2 more laps because they've gone over this line. So the next lap around will be the end of the race normally. But they do look at the opposite lock from Esky Man in through turns 1 through turn 2. He's been able to hold on to it into turn 3. But he had his front wheels at a 45-degree angle, trying to get control of the rear end, over-rotating. But yes, so we're going to have that 1 extra lap. So the time of the race is over, but they had 3 seconds left on the clock as they cross the starting strip. So they will see 1 more lap to go. At the moment, it's Esky Man. He'll be a bit nervous at the moment because you never know with this run. We've seen the cars with their toe and how they can really get a little bit of a run. But that's the start and finish straight, the strip there. So this is the final lap. Oh, and Esky Man's looped it in front of Rangy Rover. Rangy Rover's taken the lead of the race. Esky Man's trying to get going. So that happened earlier to Cuckoo and also to Mark. So it's actually Rangy Rover who has come out to take this lead of the race after a mistake from Esky Man. And Rangy Rover from 6th position. He's only got one more corner to make the Parabolica, but look up here for the final position. It looks like Mark's got that done and dusted. The 3rd position. But it's this man here, Rangy Rover, who's going to take round 3 of the GTL Formula Junior Series. And what a showing from Rangy Rover. That's exactly what he wanted. He had 22 points coming into this round, with 61 being on the top of the grid. So he has taken this victory over Cuckoo. Mark 860 in 3rd position. Esky Man, he's going to be gutted. In 4th position, Christopher comes home in 5th. He should find himself 2nd in this championship. And Kiz will find himself 3rd. And I would imagine that Cuckoo will find himself leading this championship. So the red Ferrari has made big inroads, and it's 9th position to this man, Stu, for his best result of 2023. Congratulations to the Mr. Boss Man, Stu. Well deserved in 9th position. Sensational job coming home there, having a steady race and actually getting one up on Brad Luck. So they had a bit of a battle. Actually, he was having a battle with Mac Attack, to be fair. So Mac Attack ends up taking that over Stu in 8th position. But awesome job. And there's nothing taken away from this man here. And well done to Rangy Rover. Well-deserved victory. Wow. What a race, guys. So there you go. 2 pit stops for Brad Luck as well. So he had some pace. If he didn't have that extra pit stop, you'd think that he would be in the running as well. But Cuckoo 2nd, Mark 860, Esky Man on the last lap, spinning into the final, into the first corner. And giving that position to Rangy Rover. But Mark did it the previous lap. He had the lead of the race and spun it into the first corner as well. Christopher from 10th to 5th. Well done to him. Stu, as we said, in the 9th. Best result of 2023. Brad Luck in 10th. So he'll be happy at least being in the top 10. Pixel Boy. That was actually a good result for him because he was the first car was a lap down. And he was able to get through all those cars because he had the first early pit stop. So there you go, guys. How good was that? Thanks again, guys, for joining myself, Neil Haines, for the show tonight. And next week we'll be looking forward to bringing you guys the action at Imola 72. Layout of the circuit. So after they did, I think it was 47 laps, I was all excited about Rangy Rover's victory there, that I forgot to see how many laps he ended up doing in the end. But Imola will be a different story, and we probably would only see around about maybe about 15, 16 laps. Not too sure there, but she is a bit of a long hike, all these Formula Juniors around there. And it's going to be a sensational round 4 next Monday night. So make sure you join me, like my my Twitch channel, follow me, so then you will know where to find me next Monday, just after 8 PM. We'll be live again for Gravel Trap Legends. Until next week, cheerio everyone.